And what's the first thing, one of the first things that family law attorneys do when they get a new client? I need to see all your assets. We want to see what you're worth. And they calculate how much of that stuff they can get before the divorce is over.
So let's just say someone's worth $100,000, how would that?
They will take the case, bleed that money down, and when the money is out, they'll say, okay, we got a settlement now.
Oh, and
between the two.
Oh, so they're trying to get the people's net worth to zero, basically. Take all the money they can and then make a settlement. And since it's usually the guy's money, because more often than not, oh, that's why they're lying.
This is all a scam. All of it.
That makes I could not figure out why he was lying.
How are family lawyers supposed to calculate how much to give to the woman and children if they don't look at the men's assets? What does he mean by bleed the men down? Is he talking about the lawyer coming up with a figure that they consider to be fair according to his assets to give to the woman and children? What does Pearl mean by they are trying to get the man's net worth to zero? So if the men had 100,000 saved, do they take all of the 100,000? Is that what she's saying? Bear in mind, the average man earns like 30,000 per year and don't have nowhere near 100,000 saved. I'm sorry, but they are not making sense. They are being way too vague. I need a real life example. I need to know, how much will the court take from his savings? How much does he have to pay monthly? How much does the man earn? Because that's how they decide how much a man should pay or shouldn't pay. Men who earn more will obviously be able to pay more than men who don't. Let's also not forget, after divorce, men are free to go and make as much money as they want. Women are not. Women have to raise the children, and as a single mother, she's less likely to find men who will take her seriously.
And I notice it from the tradcons a lot but their ego
She's always talking about the tradcons, always taking shots. Why? I don't get it. You're a tradcon yourself, you're raised by tradcon.
Investments, their religion. So like if that's why they do it, I think, anyways. They love their religion, but because they look bad if people knew what they did behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
What does she mean by that? That doesn't make any sense. What does she mean by that? Has she got any evidence for that?
That's my belief. And this is, I couldn't prove this in a study, but I can tell you over and over again, the men I've counseled, they suddenly came to some kind of arrangement precisely when the money was running out.
Wow.
And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that family law attorneys are like ambulance chasers.
What are ambulance? Sorry, I don't get that. Sorry.
Personal injury attorneys that, hang out in hospital ERs and find clients who have been in automobile wrecks, and here I can make you some money, and those
it's
guys.
It's kind of a scummy profession, family court, because
she noticed what from the tradcons. She always feels the need to attack tradcons and religion. Why? I mean, I know she's a feminist agent. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. She's a feminist agent. But by every metric, she was raised by tradcons. Her parents are Catholic. They are married. She was raised Catholic and went to a Catholic school. What a hypocrite. What do tradcons do behind closed doors? If someone knows what she's talking about, please let me know in the comment section. It sounds like an accusation. He said something about he can't prove it, but the lawyers came to some kind of arrangement precisely when the money was running out. I wish he would elaborate on that a bit more. Are family court lawyers only interested in making money? I'm sure there's some, and I'm sure they use the law in a greedy, malicious way and can be very unfair. But guess what? That's life. You'll find that everywhere.
Because unless you're like maybe a men's rights attorney, that sort of thing, it's like odds are you have to screw over men to get paid.
And you don't want a men's rights attorney or...
Men do earn more, and they are usually the main breadwinners, so...
Anybody identifying that. Here's the problem. The courts hate that. When attorneys come in and act like their male clients actually have rights and there's a constitution and they shouldn't be treated this way. Courts don't want any of that. They want compliance. I can't tell you how many guys were asking their attorneys, why aren't you saying this? Why aren't you doing that? Well,
Oh my gosh, I've heard that in the UK too, where they said their attorneys don't even tell them the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Family courts can be very unfair, but I think they are unfair for a reason. I think there is an agenda behind why they can be so unfair.
They don't.
Yeah.
It's like, why aren't we fighting this way or that way? Oh, don't worry about it. This is the way it's done, that sort of thing. And of course, it bleeds the family dry of money. And then once that's done, it's like, okay, we're done now.
Oh, that makes I could not figure out why. And the judges have to be in on it too. So do you think it's just gynocentrism that makes them do this, or the love of money?
Is there a conspiracy? I personally think there is, but I don't think we have the same reasons as to why we think there's a conspiracy. Our reasons are definitely not the same as mine.
I think gynocentrism helps, but I mean, they're attorneys. It's the money.
First of all, family court lawyers are not saints, guys, all right? They are human beings just like the rest of us who want to get paid. Second, family court lawyers know that the money isn't going to come from the woman. It's going to come from the man, because the man is the one who is most likely to be working full-time, whereas the woman, if she has children, is most likely to be working part-time. Therefore, since the lion's share of the income comes from the man, there is more vested interest in the lawyer's part to comply with how family court does things. Are family courts most likely to favor women? Absolutely. Why? Because she is the vulnerable sex and is the gender most likely to not have any assets. Why? Because of having to fulfill the role of a mother and not being able to fully commit to a career. That's why the family courts can seem one-sided and unfair to men. Do family courts take things too far in terms of believing anything women say too often? Yes, absolutely. Can they too often be extremely unfair to men? Absolutely. What's the alternative? Huh? Equal custody? Should a woman abandon her role as a mother and go into the workforce full-time because the man is upset that he has to provide for his ex-wife and children after divorce? And how would the father work full-time when it's his turn to take care of the children? He couldn't, unless he dumped the kids on daycare, which is what most people are doing these days anyway.
The other part of that scenario is guys that are in relationships with women that are psychologically and emotionally very abusive, which like borderline personalities are. They can be horrendously abusive people. A guy will take that abuse for years, and then one day he can't take it anymore and he slaps her. That's all the world will ever see is the moment he slapped her. They won't pay any attention to anything that led up to it. Nothing else matters. He hit a woman. Time to go to jail and take all your stuff. And
that's why you have to vet women and know how to vet women, guys. Most men today don't even know what vetting is. They fall for a woman's sex appeal rather than her character and morals. If you're too immoral as a man to vet women morally, then don't go to the internet red pill space to cry and blame women for your poor choices after she leaves you or uses the family court against you. Be a man and accept your fate. Guys, you should never put your hands on a woman. Don't do it, guys. Understanding the importance of vetting a woman will save you from all of these problems. Trust me.
I guess my question is, in family court, do you think they know that the women are lying? Or
they don't care.
Oh, they don't care.
They know that they know the whole.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. And there's a reason for that as well. And I'm going to get into that now.
Thing is corrupt. Steve Baskerville wrote about this very well. They know precisely what they're doing in there. They know exactly what's going on. They know the family's being fleeced for all the money. They know the children are being destroyed. They know that
they just don't care.
They don't care
because they're making money.
This is their routine. This is what they do, and family courts that I know of don't have cameras in them. There's no real appeals process for family courts. You just, whatever the judge rules, that's it. So they have impunity and they can do anything they want, and they do.
Yes, it's true. They don't care. They don't. There's a reason for that. But I slightly disagree. The presumption in family courts agrees with gender roles. The presumption is that women are the weaker gender, the gender that gives birth, the primary nurturers. As a result, they are less likely to be the breadwinners, meaning protectors and providers, which is the natural role of a man. So, in case of a divorce, the family courts can't just tell the woman and the children to suck it up and go and fend for themselves. Hence why the family courts appear to be more on women's side, since they are the more vulnerable gender. Like I said, are there situations where family courts take it too far? Absolutely. Like believing every abuse claim out of a woman's mouth without proper investigation. Are they unfair to men when it comes to not allowing men to see their children just because the mother made up some nonsense? Of course. Are they unfair for giving women too much power? Yes, absolutely. But if I'm going to be all the way honest with you guys, I think they're doing it on purpose. I think they want to frustrate men to the point where men will demand the laws to change. Like, for example, equal custody, so that they can push women further into the workforce and men further into a maternal like role in order to fulfill their feminist agenda of women being more part of the workforce. Women entering the workforce means they are less likely to have children, more likely to have abortions, less likely to get married, and this will lead to the complete annihilation of gender roles in the nuclear family, which is the feminist agenda. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. All right? Peace.